Hey, what is up, friendoids, androids? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. How you doing? That's one way to say that. So, pretty much all of you guys out there know, if you watch this channel at all, that I own a few fragrances. A few too many, you could say. And that got me thinking the age-old question, once again, if I had nothing, if somebody came in with a bulldozer and a mansion-sized truck and just took everything that I own, what are the first 10 designer fragrances that I would buy to start that collection up again? So that's what I've got for you guys here today, and I tried to do this one pretty quick. I didn't really want to think about this one too much because then you start second-guessing everything. So it was basically just walking through and going like, yep, I would get that one, yep, that one, yep, that one, and when I hit 10, that was it. Except I actually have 11 in here because I put a bonus one in. But whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's get started. The first fragrance that I would buy if I had nothing is this one. Aquade Profundo, the original version. So let me explain my train of thought with this one. I actually love the new version of Aquade Profundo Eau de Parfum, that comes with the gradient bottle. I think it smells fantastic, but I am a sucker for discontinued fragrances, and this is a discontinued fragrance that I absolutely adore that I can still find. So basically what it comes down to is if I had nothing and it was between this one and the new one, I know that new version I'll be able to find for years, easily. But with this version, you do run that risk of once it sells out at discounters, once the stock is gone from stores, it becomes more expensive and more of a pain in the butt to pick up. So while I can still find it, that's one I want. And Aquade Profundo, for those who have been living under a rock and have no clue what this is, shout out to all you rock dwellers out there. It basically takes that Aquade DNA, that style, modernizes it, gives it this green touch, a bit of minerality, less of a floral feel to it. Comes across overall more masculine and, like I said, more contemporary. And it was my favorite Aquade until it was discontinued. And now, basically, the new Aquade Profundo, that's my favorite, along with Aquade Parfum. So that's my first one. I gotta pick that up. Another one that I need, Prada Intense. And this is one that for a while was really difficult to find in the US. It was basically sold out everywhere. Prada wiped it off of their website. It was like it never even existed, at least again in North America. Nowadays, it's back on the Prada website, but I don't think you can buy it there. It just has a place to put in your email address. But at discounters, you can. So while the getting's good, I'm getting the fragrance. If you've never smelled Prada Intense, it is a deeper version of the original Prada more masculine, once again, better for evening use, but still a fragrance that you could wear casually if you wanted to. Has a really nice iris note in there, a bit powdery, soapy, clean, classy, and sophisticated, with an underlying leather that really ramps the fragrance up. For lovers of iris, which I am, it's a must own. And to my taste, if I could have just one from the Prada line, I think it's probably gonna be this one. Although realistically, as time went on, if I did have to rebuy everything, I would just buy the other Prada fragrances too. Same with Aquade. From there, we're hopping over to a little bit of vanilla, and by a little bit, I mean a lot bit. Invictus Victory Elixir from Rabanne, formerly known as Paco Rabanne. In fact, that's what my bottle says right here. It's vintage. That's right. That's right, my bottle still got the Paco in it. That whole thing is part of like the dumbing down of fragrances, I feel like. It's not the end of the world, but it's just everything is getting TikTokized. It's like, oh, note breakdowns, 3 notes. More than that's too many. The name of the fragrance brand, Paco Rabanne? Too complex, drop the Paco. Like, at what point do you just go, okay, like, my attention span is more than 5 seconds. It's all right. I promise I can read more than 3 notes before I tap out. It gets to the point where you're almost thinking in the future, how are they gonna do this? It'll just be like, Rabanne, Invictus, Strong. Like, oh, Invictus Strong, the new one? Yeah, that one's good, man. It's strong. It's good. Oh, you tried that new Prada Luna Sexy? Yeah, Luna Sexy, good. Had to drop the Rosa, too many words. But back to this, Invictus Victory Elixir, it does have some similarities to a bunch of other fragrances out there in the sense of how the vanilla comes across. That is because right now, sweet fragrances are in. They are in a big way. They are everywhere. And a lot of them are utilizing a somewhat similar vanilla styling to them, but I've gotta say, I love the way that it comes across in this scent. So there's the vanilla, there's also tonka, there's incense in here as well in the mid. You've got lavender and cardamom off the top as well, gives it this nice little touch of freshness and warm spice when you first spray it on. Great performance, really good for fall and winter time, big compliment puller. So I gotta go Invictus Victory Elixir. Now, I need another fresh one here. So I'm gonna go with Terre d'Hermes Eau Givre. Big TDH Eau Givre. Again, that's too many, bro. Check this out. Hermes Ter Fraîche. It's the best of all worlds, bro. You drop the d'Hermes, you don't need the Eau, just the Fraîche. Although they did already have a fragrance called Terre d'Hermes Eau Fraîche. It doesn't matter. That's what we need. So this one is gonna scratch that rindy citrus itch that I do have. I love fragrances that have like a more natural smelling citrus off the top, this kind of mixture of fresh and sweet, and then also a little bit tart. And this has that off the top. It's got citron as the opening citrus note. It doesn't go as far down that like rindy path as something like Light Blue Forever, which I also love, which is discontinued, but it does have a little bit of that aspect to it. Then as it dries down, fresh woods, very classy, easy to wear. Great fragrance for the office, a great fragrance for casual use, spring, summertime, doesn't matter. You can also dress the fragrance up. I don't know what that was. I was trying to do this, but it was kind of to the side. Dress it up. Because it's an Hermes, right? At the end of the day, a lot of people will rock their Hermes fragrances to more formal occasions. And you could do that with this one, assuming that your formal occasion is during the spring and summer. Love the fragrance, great release. Now I've got 7 more to go, so I'm gonna try to speed it up ever so slightly. But with the ever raising prices of literally everything, I actually got an email today from one of you out there, shout out to you, you know who you are, who told me that fragrance net prices are getting insane. Not for nothing, bud, but fragrance net prices have been decently high for a minute compared to a lot of other discounters out there. But you can alleviate some of those pricing woes with these codes to these different discounters. So the newest codes are Maple Prime and Gift Express, 5% off and free shipping at Maple Prime, 10% off Gift Express. Of course, got codes for Perfume Box, which by the way has insane deals for cologne fragrances. Most of the time, Perfume Box after the discount code is the cheapest. Frag Flex, Max Aroma, Twisted Lily, many more. JOMASHOP. Yeah, JOMASHOP. Gotta use it in the app though. So all those codes, use those if you shop at any of those sites, save yourself some money. The next fragrance that I am going with is gonna be this one. Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal Absolute. So this one, you know, I would wear it pretty much the same times as Invictus Victory Elixir, and it came down between one of the Stronger With Yous or this. And I went Scandal Absolute. I know some people will be like, oh, that's sacrilegious. How could you do that? You gotta go Stronger With You. But I love the Mirabelle Plum and the opening here. Smells really, really good. It's sweet, but has a nice deepness to it. Also a little bit more of a unique feel compared to a lot of the other fragrances kind of in this style, in this space. It has a nice nuttiness to it that's very cozy, very sexy as it dries down. Also has a little bit of sandalwood in there in the base as well, so like this kind of creamy woodiness. Performance, really good. And it's one that's really popular like within the fragrance world, but it does fly slightly under the radar compared to Stronger With You Intensely if we're talking about just overall sales. So going with that one. Next up is Y Le Parfum from YSL. This is the original version of Y Le Parfum. Exact same reasoning as the Aquade Profundo. You can still find this, but it has been replaced by the new Y Le Parfum. And so while I can find it, I'm gonna pick this up. If I was starting over from scratch, that would probably be the first thing that I target, those fragrances that have been discontinued that you can still find that I really like. So Y Le Parfum, a bit similar to Y Eau de Parfum, not quite as sweet as Y Eau de Parfum, but it still does have that Y sweetness running through the scent from top to bottom, just not quite as like aggressive with it. A little bit more sophisticated, a little bit better for evening use. So it does have apple and citrus off the top along with ginger. It has a nice aromatic feel to the scent in the opening through to the dry down. And in that dry down, you've got woods, tonka, a bit of olive venom as well. Another one with amazing performance, big time compliment factor, spring, fall, winter, easy to use. So Y Le Parfum. Okay, next up, Valentino Uomo Born in Roma Intense. This is one of the best smelling fragrances in the air that's out there today. It's also extremely versatile. I can wear this one pretty much year round. Maybe summertime, dial it back a little bit, but I can wear it pretty much whenever I want. The note breakdown is derpified. It is 3 notes, so it has lavender, vanilla, and vetiver, which I know when you see that note breakdown, it's kind of boring, right? It's like, nothing there is really exciting, but I'm telling you, the way that the vanilla hits, it's kind of like this mix of fresh and sweet. The way that it hits with that lavender in the air is just awesome. Like, it is magnetic, it will draw people's attention, and it has, once again, good performance to boot. Gentleman Reserve Privé, gonna be the next one that I go with. And Reserve Privé, you know, it's got that iris. I did want another iris fragrance, and it was between this one, maybe like Dior Homme Original, Valentino Uomo Intense. But yeah, I ended up going Reserve Privé. That being said, those other two, the Valentino and the Dior, I would scoop those up also. But you know, I don't want to just have nothing but iris fragrances here. That'd be ridiculous. So like I said, it's got iris, has chestnut, also whiskey, which is always nice, woods, a touch of citrus, and amber. So it's gonna be basically taking some of the more popular aspects of fragrances today, mixing it together with an iris forward scent profile. So you get that sweetness, that booziness from the whiskey, and then that nutty, kind of gourmand aspect from the chestnut. It is maybe a little more of a specific use fragrance for a lot of people compared to some of these here. You know, more of like an evening out scent for fall and winter time, but still, absolutely amazing, smells fantastic. Then I'm going Polo 67, the new eau de parfum. So, Polo 67 EDT, easier to find, a little bit cheaper. And that one, really, really good also. But something about this one, I just love. Like the citrus off the top when you spray this on, sweet, fresh, decently deep for this type of scent. And then you have that like spritz of pineapple juice in there as well, kind of combining with those citrus notes. As it dries down, it's a little bit woodier, again, deeper than the eau de toilette. Just overall, to me, a little bit more interesting, higher quality, and a fantastic everyday wear. Just a Swiss Army knife type of scent. Now we got 2 more. The next one is Le Male Elixir. I know some people would go Le Male de Parfum, maybe one of the Le Beaux, but when I was staring at those fragrances, I was like, man, if I were gonna pick up just one of these, which one would it be that I buy first? And I think it'd probably be that one. Although you could make a case for Le Beau Le Parfum, but I think this would win out, which is why it's here. So this is another sweeter fragrance, you know, warm, sweet, fall, winter time. Whew. I don't know, there's just something in here that's very addictive. So note-wise, it has tonka, it has benzoin, lavender, bergamot, labdanum, mint. So you've got a lot of notes from like the original Le Male that carries over to this one, kind of a honey tobacco feel as well. To me, it's just one of those ones that I love wearing myself. I love smelling it. I think it's amazing, boosts my confidence. And then it doesn't hurt that pretty much everybody else thinks it smells amazing also. So yeah, Le Male Elixir, gotta get that one. And then the final one, the bonus one, is Bottled Absolute. Bottled Absolute is just absolutely killer. Absolute smells fantastic. Kind of like a designer-ish take on Parfums Marley Carlisle, in that wheelhouse, in that style, but surprisingly very high quality, especially for a Hugo Boss. A lot of people may think that Hugo Boss fragrances are kind of lower tier, but really, ever since they came out with the Bottled Elixir, a lot of their Boss bottled fragrances have been top notch, and this is no exception. This is probably, to me, the best Boss bottled right now. And if you can scoop this up at a discounter for a decent price, a little bit goes a long way. So Bottled Absolute, gotta put that one in also. Basically, I had these 10, and then I saw that one and I was like, kind of cheating. 11 fragrances technically. If I had to get rid of one of these, I don't know, probably the Polo, but I wouldn't feel good about it. So there we go, guys. There are the fragrances I would buy first if I were starting from scratch, designer edition. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. Take care of yourself. See you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.